everyone, welcome back to Interviews with Plants, Winter Edition. Today we're going to be interviewing our friend, the paper birch, also known as Betula papyrifera. You can often find paper birch along openings such as roadsides and streams. It's a fairly common deciduous tree in our area. Paper birch is well known for its papery bark. The bark is quite thin and starts to peel as the tree ages. The color can be quite variable, from almost a cream color to a bright white, to even a dark purplish or gray color depending on the conditions of the site. Mature bark also has very large lenticels that are horizontal and raised. You can see them quite clearly on this specimen. The bark of a paper birch changes quite a bit as the tree matures. This is an immature specimen, sort of like a teenager. You can see the bark is fairly smooth and hasn't really started to peel yet. The color is sort of a silvery gray, but you can still see the lenticels, which are large, raised, and horizontal. Sometimes, especially in shadier conditions, paper birch can be quite purplish in color, very easily confused with our native bitter cherry because the color is very similar. However, look at the lenticels. If you look on the ground, you might be able to find the leaves of the paper birch. It has an overall oval shape with a pointed tip and a rounded base. If you look at the margin, you'll notice that it's serrated. Here we can see a twig from the paper birch. If you look closely, you can see that the buds are small and pointed. The bud scales are reddish in color. The buds alternate along the stem. The twigs are coppery colored with small raised white lenticels. Paper birch and bitter cherry can be very difficult to tell apart. A good way to tell them apart is actually by smell or even by taste. So if you take a paper birch twig and a bitter cherry twig and you scratch off the outer bark and smell it, it has like a nice kind of sweet smell. And if you chew on it a little bit, it tastes twiggy but not unpleasant. Whereas if you chew on a bitter cherry twig or smell a bitter cherry twig, it's quite unpleasant smelling and tasting. If you stand back and look at a paper birch from a distance, you might see a different silhouette each time. This one has a mature shape that's upright and oval in pattern. Other paper birches are clump-like, meaning several main trunks coming out from the same location at the base of the tree. Sometimes high up in the canopy, you can see the remains of last year's female catkins. These are the catkins that hold the seeds for next year's baby birch trees. They do disintegrate throughout the winter, so it's not always easy or possible to find them. Here we have a baby birch tree. It looks quite different from both the immature and the adult version. If you look closely at the twig, it has lots of small, white, resinous lenticels. So those are some key features when trying to identify paper birch in the wintertime. Make sure to look for more than one trait so that you don't get it confused with other similar trees. So let's thank the paper birch for its time and tune in next time for more Interviews with Plants.